Hello, welcome to my video and podcast. This is Anabrese. Today we're going to do a video and podcast around the subject of co-creating a new earth beyond Corona. So I just want to welcome you and hope you're doing well in this isolation time, quarantine. And we're just going to talk about the possibilities moving ahead now, because it feels like we've gone through so much of a shift really in the last couple of months, and I feel like we're going to be coming out of it at some point, obviously. And I thought I'd just do a video on looking at the sort of transformation aspect that many of us will have gone through. Not everybody, of course, but just generally, what the opportunity of Corona really brought us as a collective and also on a personal level. So I'll just get started right away. And first of all, I'm going to look at really the old earth, the old world, the way things were before. And, basically we were in the rat race, caught up in the 9 to 5, everybody doing their thing. Before things kind of stopped. And I know it hasn't stopped for everybody, but generally speaking, there was this sense that the old world, it was just like the world stopped for many of us. So in that world that was, generally speaking, there was this kind of, rat race thing going on. And there was a very much I, me, mine centered focus, very person-centered focus of getting, achieving, gaining material wealth, lots of entertainment, consumerism, a huge focus on consuming and taking and using up a lot of, resources, polluting the world through our consumerism, endless amounts of products going to waste, plastics, and just the food industry, feeding the massive agricultural kind of death industry as well. So we were consuming, going out for meals and cinema, music, concerts, everything, all that. And this is not to criticize all that, because some of it will come back, but it's just looking at where we were really. On the level of our sort of day-to-day, behavior. So it was very much focused around getting, what can we get as a collective, and very material focused and consumerism. So I feel like when Corona came in, what it did was it stopped this momentum of the world, the machine, the consumerism machine that was going all the time, and the focus on me as an individual, as a person. What can I get? What can I achieve? What can I gain? And a lot of the time as a collective, with no thought to really the consequences of what we're doing to the planet in the process. So a lot of pollution was coming out of our focus on this consumerism. So I feel like what life after Corona is really going to bring, or has the possibility to bring. I mean, these are just possibilities I'm sharing here, just sort of things that came to me. So I'm just like sharing. You might disagree, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. And please add your comments as well, if you want to. So it's just really looking at what the opportunity has brought us. And I feel like it's this opportunity for moving into more of a compassionate and loving space as a planet, as a collective, where we're not just focused on me, I, mine, it's what can I get? This sense of ownership. So I feel this is what's changing, this sense of kind of ownership, I must have this. And the new earth, or co-creating a new earth, offers the opportunity, instead of being this person-centered I, me, mine, is to move into more of a kind of unity consciousness, whereas it's we, us, and ours. So it's like working together, co-creating together for a vision or a outcome that's going to be more productive, more in alignment with keeping the harmony of Earth, not polluting Mother Earth as much. So as we move into this unity consciousness, it's more of a we're all in this together. You know, what can we do? What can we co-create together? So it's really working together instead of just being in this little separate bubble, you know, of I, me, mine, and getting. And so we might find that we're even the situation of the coronavirus has brought communities. Has allowed for this expansion within communities to reach out to other people and to find out what other people need and to share, you know, to give, to make sure that everybody's getting what they need, getting food and getting the health care that they need. So we've seen a lot of real, I don't know, what's that word, camaraderie? So it's like working together to help others. So moving from this getting me, mine to giving and service to the whole, you know, how can we move forward together as a collective in ways that are going to be in harmony with the earth, that's not going to be creating all this waste and pollution so much. And also just, you know, bringing us home to the idea that, you know, health is one of the most important things that we can have as a human being on this planet, in this incarnation. Like, to have our physical health is extremely valuable. And so the focus is, you know, going to be a lot more health focused as well. So we might be looking at, you know, the healthcare system and, you know, how, I'm not criticizing the healthcare system, by the way, they've been amazing throughout this whole effort, but just you know, maybe we don't need to depend too much on pharmaceuticals. Maybe we can move into more of a sort of health preventative measures, and you know, we've realized that we're really responsible for our own health as well. So some of us are making a lot of changes, you know, to do with looking after our health, but also, as I say, in a community context as well, of just helping others, you know, helping people that are more vulnerable, that need the help and support. So this is this giving, service orientated aspect here to the whole, and making sure that, you know, all of society as a whole, as a collective, is having their needs met and nobody's being left out. You know, this is all obviously a very idealistic kind of image here that I'm, you know, sharing, but it's a possibility. So just sharing possibilities, we have the opportunity to move into a more compassionate, caring and loving world where we're not just focused on the self and you know, what each one of us is going to attain, but how we can be of service to the whole. So I feel like what we're moving out of this consumerism and into a more holistic and spiritual balance, you know, where we're not just focused on the material side of things and wealth and money, but we're focused on how we can balance our lives as individuals as well. So maybe the rest from the work, from the constant 9 to 5 that many people were in, is allowing them a time to step back and really look at that and readdress the balance. So maybe, like, you know, not working as hard, not working as many hours, but finding creative ways or solutions to get that work-life leisure balance, spend time with family. So it's forcing us, or not forcing us, but giving us the opportunity to look at that and focus on what's really important to us and what are our priorities. And again, I feel like the health aspect is one of those things really, really important. So it kind of comes round to balancing of the masculine and the feminine, because we're kind of on a collective level, we've been moving through a very kind of masculine run society, that has been based on material wealth and, you know, consumerism. So we're kind of like looking at the feminine side now, of how to be in that nurturing energy, but also giving space for the feminine aspect, which is our Mother Earth here. You know, this planet that we live on is supporting us and has always been supporting us. So it's looking at the natural world and how we can give back in that sense, instead of consuming and polluting and throwing waste into landfill and things like that. Is looking at how we can manifest this new earth as honoring earth, especially, and getting this yin yang balance in our own lives, you know. So it's that activity based, you know, out there consuming or working, but then also nurturing, being with family, etc. So it's just balancing this yin yang aspect, which I feel is kind of, you know, where many of us do feel fulfilled, you know, when we get that balance right, and we're not just like in our heads all day long and working, but when we can like relax and spend time with our loved ones, and also choose the work that is truly fulfilling for us as well, instead of just like, you know, working for the money, but actually looking at how can we be in service using our specific unique goals and skills and talents, and looking at how we can share those or put them to work and be in alignment with our own soul's purpose and blueprint. So it's like really honoring that part of ourselves that wants to express creatively, and looking at ways that we can be of service in that way, but still obviously support ourselves. So there's a kind of like big shift from you know, that's possible. Again, these are just possibilities I'm talking about here. So instead of this taking, consuming, we're kind of moving into the possibility of giving, sharing, and finding creative solutions to some of the problems that we have, you know, to do with our ecological footprint, you know, how we've polluted the planet, how we've messed up, you know, and how we can really consider the whole this time. You know, we share this planet with, you know, thousands or millions, maybe billions, I don't know, of other life species, of other sentient life beings. So how can we move forward and, you know, consider them as well? It's like, it's not just us that live here on this planet. There's like so many other beings. So how can we live in harmony and, you know, live and let live, basically. I actually wrote a song called that. So live and let live. So considering the whole in our actions moving forward, it's not just about, you know, what we can get and consuming without thought to, and without thought and care to the side effects of that, the ripple effect of our actions. So becoming more aware and conscious of the ripple effect of our actions as a collective, and not even just as an individual, but as a collective. So, and aligning with true fulfillment and service, you know, sharing our unique gifts and creativity, and getting this work and leisure in balance is, I think, you know, would be very fulfilling for many of us if we can just, you know, slow things down, you know. And this slowing down, you know, it's like if you were on a train going, you know, 70 miles per hour, you know, you're whizzing past the scenery and you don't really see much because you're going so fast. But, you know, when you slow that train down to 20, 30 miles per hour, you can definitely see a lot more. You've got time to focus. So I feel like for many of us, you know, things will be coming into focus on an individual level, but also that then sort of expands into the collective, because we're all interconnected. So we're all influencing each other at this time as well. So that's really it. It's just this opportunity for moving into an era, you know, of compassion and love, you know, sharing and giving, rather than just taking and consuming. You know, how can we give back to the planet? How can we express our love more? How can we be truly authentic to our own being and why we came here as well? And, you know, listening to our soul's wisdom, our soul's message for us, and what we want to be here and do in life, and how we can really contribute, rather than taking, how can we contribute? So I know many of you are in that space anyway, and it's just really a little kind of sharing on the opportunity for moving forward as a collective and co-creating this new earth. So there's many beautiful opportunities and ways that we can really create this new earth together with love and unity, a sense of unity, consciousness, and I think this corona thing has really given us that sort of reflection of we're all in this together, and it's true, we're all on this planet together right now, in this little window, I'm alive, you're alive, we're all here alive at the same time for a reason as well. So the people, passing through your life are meant to be there, it's like, it's so unique, it's such a unique manifestation. So I think it would be beautiful to really honor that manifestation, and also look at, ways we can, it's just all about continual improvement, how can we do things better, how can we clean up the earth, how can we, and we've seen how she's like loving this experience of just breathing out and expanding without too much interference and movement from humans. And even animals are coming closer into the vicinity of humans because of the peaceful vibrations that they're picking up on, So it's really beautiful that we can kind of coexist. So we have this opportunity to coexist with nature in a more harmonious way. We have access to health technologies, we have access to technologies and the creative innovation, the new inventors that are out there. I know they're out there, and there's going to be beautiful, clean solutions coming in, and we can access that, and we can create that. It just all depends on our focus, where we're going to put our focus, and what we're going to put it into, and what we're going to do together. So I hope you enjoyed this video and this podcast, and I would like to just say thank you for listening, and you can follow me or subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.